What's going on here?
He's just gesticulating. What he doesn't realise, he's actually doing sign language for vote leave. It's stuff like that people worry. Like, there was one article I read that said if we have left the EU, we could end up with a national shortage of wine. Yeah, now everyone's engaged. No! I've got a strategy. Like, for a start, we stop wine tasters spitting it out, because that's a waste. Unless they're going to spit it directly into my mouth, they can forget that.
would you walk around and he fancy... No, and you're there behind him, like a baby bird going... when they regurgitate their wine.
I've got other strategies. We stop selling wine in Lidl. Poor people don't need wine, they've got cider. That's fine, that's cider.
Any other countries you've enjoyed watching?
Wales. I'm not a football fan, but I love an underdog, right? And Wales, in this tournament, it looks like they're really putting Wales on the map, you know, because until now, other countries just thought Wales was a unit of measurement for deforestation.
On the board are 6 categories. Angela, which category would you like?
I will have science, please, Dara.
Excellent. Science it is. The answer is 186 days. What is the question?
Is it how long you have to work before you qualify for a loo break at Sports Direct? Is it what would the film 127 Hours have been called if it had been his penis that was trapped?
No, I'll give it a few more weeks and then decide. Surely somebody will come past. And the question I was looking for is, how long was Major Tim Peake on the International Space Station before he returned to Earth this week? Yes, there he is in a deck chair, not doing a tap.
But the only reason he come back was because the Russian bloke on the space station stuck up behind him in it on the end of a bar stool.
You know, I watched the news report about it, but I'm hard of hearing, so I used the subtitles, and it genuinely said that he was up in space for 6 months without gravy, and it took me ages to realise they meant gravity. To be fair, he was without both, and I couldn't do it, you know.
I mean, there's that anti-gravy machine they have.
He did run the marathon up there, didn't he? And I thought I'd run a marathon if I had an option to float bits of it.
Just set the treadmill on really fast. I'll just hover above it.
I think he deserves all the honours he's getting, because it is a dangerous mission to get that much closer to the sun when you're that ginger.
It's sort of ridiculous that when the guy from the European Space Agency said, well, you know, how will he feel? He said, well, I think he's going to be a bit shocked by gravity. You think he's got a very short memory, isn't he?
He's been up there 6 months, like, with no atmosphere, so to ease him back in, they've taken him to the new Top Gear studio. Take that, Chris Evans. I like the way he said, I'm looking forward to spending some time with my wife and having my first shower for 6 months. Like, other way round, mate. Unless she likes him a bit gamey, so I have it the other way round.
Things you wouldn't hear on a kids' TV show.
And on today's Horrible Histories, a 1970s episode of Top of the Pops. Let's see what's happening over at the Magic Roundabout. Yep, more dogging.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear at Euro 2016.
And England go through on penalties. And the crowd invade the pitch and the French officials have surrendered. And the Swedes are out. He really should have worn tighter shorts.
I would like home news, please, Dara.
Home news it is. The answer is 1 year. What is the question?
Is it in a Wetherspoon's kitchen? What is the chef's equivalent of the 5-second rule?
Owen Smith, what example did he give this week of his leadership qualities?
This is amazing, right? So he reckons he pulled his wife at an all-boys school. She was one of the few girls there, so therefore he's got leadership qualities. Now, as the only person on the panel who has been a teenage girl, let me tell you right now...
Don't make assumptions, right? Angela. Little Romina had a great time at school, all right?
As the only one who's been a teenage girl, right, let me tell you now, there have been many things that have got me into bed. Right, someone's mum having a Nissan Micra that he had full use of, you know, a haircut, a mixtape. But it's never... No teenage girl has ever written in their diary, I really like Dave's leadership qualities. Never. I went to grammar school.
Did you?
I went to an all-girls grammar school, and I'm sort of conflicted because the lefty in me is pretty much against the grammar school system, but it kind of worked for me, you know. On one side, it was, you know, people weren't ashamed of academic achievement. It meant you could... but on the other side, you know, there was no cock, so...
It's very, very divisive. And generally, people who didn't go to grammar school say there should be less grammar schools, not more, and people who did go to grammar school say, no, no, there should be fewer grammar schools.
You go, oh, look, guinea pigs. You think of the same thing with nits. You go, no, this is, look, it's great. No, that's not an infestation. That's a flea circus.
Yeah, but the difference is the guinea pig is in a tank. It's not hiding up your arse. Like, the nits are a parasite. They're actually on your system. You can't go, oh, we're having a little fun thing here.
And then it makes you scratch, makes you look thoughtful.
I wasn't allowed pets. I would have loved it when I was little. The best I could do was I got a fly, right, dunked it in some water, ripped out one of my hairs, tied it to the fly. When it dried out, I had a fly on a lead. That was my pet.
And she went to a grammar school.
Unlikely lines from a children's book.
And the beautiful woman was cursed to sleep for 100 years. And that's your defence, is it, Mr. Cosby?
She didn't do it. Don't boo her.
I will never tell you my name. You will have to guess my name, said Rumpelstiltskin, really holding up the queue at Starbucks.
Things you wouldn't hear on a quiz show.
So the final round on OAP quiz is sudden death. Boom! Is it in a Nando's kitchen? How long is the 5-second rule?
Why did the Liberal Democrat leader Tim Farron come under pressure during the campaign?
Well, this is his views allegedly on homosexuality, and thinking that homosexuality is a sin, and he's a practising Christian, right? Which I think means... I don't think he needs to be a practising Christian, because if they're his views on homosexuality, I think he's got Christianity nailed. I think what he needs to practice is being a liberal. I think Tim Farron's got an option here. I think he's got something he could do. Because you remember when Boris Johnson was making all the... he wanted to buy water cannons, and he offered to stand in front of a water cannon to prove that it's OK.
I don't even want you to finish. I can see... I can just have a really visual image of what you're about to say, and frankly, that's not going out on the air, right? Go as far as standing in front of a water cannon, Angela Barnes, and I think we all can finish off that particular idea, right? Don't draw a picture of it.
Is he drawing round his hands to prove the haters wrong?
Yeah. I just counted. He's got 4 different haircuts on one head.
Oh, is he doing in each different part? Yeah, he swept back, parted, lifted over and crossed to the side. It is quite a complex piece of work.
Trump's very green, man. He is the greenest. Out of all the leaders in the whole world, he has done the most to combat global warming. Because, let me tell you, that travel ban... that reduces so many people's carbon footprints, it's unreal. He's a clever guy. If all of us started banning people from our countries, less people would fly and we wouldn't have a problem on our hands.
So he's pulled out of the Paris Agreement, he pulled out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and I don't think I'm the only one who wishes that his dad had just pulled out of his mum.
Things you didn't hear during the election.
And representing the Conservatives, Theresa May. I do not make U-turns, but more importantly, I do make U-turns.
Unlikely lines from a cosmetics commercial.
Would you like lashes with more volume? Lashes! Want that football hooligan a broad look? Why not try oil of olé, 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 olé? I'm not saying that she's grey, but if it wasn't for those folders, I'd say that was a black and white photo. Is it worth re-electing another leader of the Lib Dems? Like, is it worth it? There's only 12 of them in Parliament. It's like having a... It's like a waiter at Nando's. You know, what are you for? I feel a little bit sorry for him.
There is a touch.
I do a little bit, because he thought, you know, leader of a major political party and make it into the history books. All he's actually going to be in 5 years' time is the answer to a really bloody difficult question in a pub quiz. I really like seeing Vince Cable coming back. It's sort of comforting, isn't it? Back to a lovelier time. It's like when you see William Hague. I'm even nostalgic now for Bush, you know, and I thought that'd only happen when I was watching internet pornography.
You get a nostalgia kind of thing of, you know...
3 years ago, wasn't it lovely?
Yeah, you go, back, no, Freddo's, 10 pence.
What is a Freddo?
It's a small bar. It's like a chocolate bar with soft caramel inside it.
Kerry, it's basically their generation's finger of fudge.
Oh, right.
I do beg your pardon.
Just the start, though, isn't it? I overheard someone on a bus the other day going, see, Brexit's not that bad, is it? It hasn't happened yet, has it? That's like me, like, deciding that I'm going to come off the pill tomorrow and waking up tomorrow morning going, well, being a mum's a piece of piss, isn't it? We're just at the very beginning, and they say these negotiations are going to take 2 years. They're bloody not, are they? It took Greenland 3 years to get out, and all they had to talk about was fish. We've got fish and chips. If you're the one leaving, you don't get to dictate if it's amicable or not. If I was to say to my boyfriend, I am leaving you tomorrow, but I still want unfettered access to sexual... Actually, you probably go for that. That's a bad example. I'm worried we're going to lose Lidl.
Lidl withdraw.
I don't want to live in a world without Lidl, do you? The surprise aisle. It's the best place on earth. Groceries. Argos has vomited more groceries. I used to live next door to a Lidl, right? And my then flatmate, he once popped into Lidl next door to buy some milk, and he phoned me from Lidl next door. He said, can you come and pick me up? I said, what do you mean, can I come and pick you up? He said, I've bought a drum kit. I don't want to live in a country where that can't happen. I don't.
Unlikely things to hear on the radio.
And this week, an unlikely entry at number 10. It's the DUP. In traffic news, we're hearing of a nasty helicopter crash on the M4. Let's go over to our eye in the sky. Mark? Mark? You're listening to Radio 3. Ooh, someone's got ideas above their station.
Bad things to hear during a medical exam.
Mr. Jones, I'm going to need you to have more fibre in your diet because my hand's completely stuck. I'm happy to be able to tell you that that unsightly lump on your breast is Callum Best. That's exactly what happens when you try and... I've never had a successful storm out. I once stormed out after an argument with my boyfriend. We were in a pub, and I stormed out, and then I realised I'd left my handbag and my keys on the table, and there's nothing worse than having to storm back in again.
And another thing!
A lot of people worried, aren't they, about with the new shadow cabinet that they're very sort of inexperienced. I just think, well, they're the shadow cabinet. They can't really do anything. It's like worrying that you've got an inexperienced air guitarist, you know.
This first subject is growing old. Who wants to come in on that? Angela.
Cool. I recently turned 40, and I want to reassure anyone younger, turning 40 is really easy. My friend turned 40 recently. She made a bucket list, right? She said to me, you're going to make a bucket list. And I said, do you know what I hear when I hear bucket list? I hear admin. They're always so ambitious, aren't they? It's like, oh, I want to go to the Taj Mahal, I want to swim with dolphins. The only thing I could think of that I genuinely would want to put on my bucket list is that one day, I'd like to put half a packet of biscuits back in a cupboard. But getting old, growing old in this country looks scary, and it's looking scarier and scarier. You know, by the time I get to old age, there won't be care homes anymore, will there? It'll just be an OAP rescue centre. So be like Battersea Dog Zone. This idealistic young couple will come in, they'll get shown around. This is Maud, she likes knitting, gardening, casual racism. Why don't you take her home? That's what it'll be. So we have to worry about these things. We do, because we're all living longer, aren't we? There's so many 100-year-olds in this country now, the Queen's had to get a Moonpig account to keep up. This is my plan for old age. If I get there, right, if I get to my 80s, I am going to spend every single day doing Class A hardcore drugs. Why wouldn't you? Right, you don't have to get up in the morning, do you? Right? You'll never have trouble finding a vein. I'll tell you something, you might not be able to afford to heat your bungalow, but I bet you can afford to heat a teaspoon, then you won't give a shit how cold you are. No brainer, isn't it?
Thank you very much, Angela. The answer is 24 hours. What is the question?
Is it how long is the time between my mum's two-part text messages?
This is the news of a gap in his diary. It means that President could drop in and visit Britain sometime in mid-July.
Can I say President Trump could drop in is the best euphemism for I'm about to fart I've ever heard. Actually going to be in America, I think, when he's coming over. I'm going to America next weekend. And so I had to fill in my, you know, the Esther thing.
Esther form, yeah.
I had to fill in today. And they now ask you about your social media and your online presence on it. And I'm really worried, because I've got an account with Mecca Bingo. I once dated a doctor. But, like, you need to be way more impressed than that, because girls like me don't get to date the doctor, right, unless that's their prison nickname. That's the only... And I knew it was good. At one point, he leant over and he whispered in my ear, he said, "Have you been a naughty girl?" I said, "Yeah, I drink too much, I don't exercise. It's been 10 years since I've had a smear."
Things you wouldn't hear on a fitness DVD.
Yoga, it's just stretching for twats. Can you feel the burn? Then I recommend cranberry juice.
Things you wouldn't read in a romantic novel.
Mr. Darcy is the most eligible bachelor in the county, said Mrs. Bennet, and he's hung like a fucking cart horn. Christian Grey turned to her and said, "I'm going to make you feel pain like you've never felt before." And he put Ed Sheeran's Galway Girl on repeat.
On the board are 6 categories. Angela, which category would you like?
Can I have world news, please, Dara?
Lovely. Your category is world news, and the answer is 6. What is the question?
Is it, what do men in New Zealand think about every 10 seconds?
This is the news that North Korea has conducted, at the time of recording, its 6th nuclear test, its biggest so far. The country claimed it had detonated a hydrogen bomb that can be fitted to a ballistic missile.
I love the caveat of at time of recording.
Yeah!
Well, the way things are going, this could be the first ever episode of Mock the Week not to make it to Dave.
It's not a very impressive nuclear weapon, is it?
No,
Did you want more stripes or something? Did you want, like,
It just looks like a
It is
scrappy...
a very impressive butt plug.
Yeah.
It is the nuclear tests in North Korea. Are you panicking? Are you scared?
No, because I know where all the nuclear bunkers are.
Are you going to share the information, or is it one of these things that you should...
That's between me and the key holders. There are 1,500 of them in this country, enough for 1% of the population.
OK.
That 1% of the population being government, and not us.
Right.
So if we tried to get into one, we'd be shot dead.
Not Dara, he's the science man.
Yeah, I'm the science guy. I'll be there going, "Hello, I think I'm the science guy." And from the other side of the door, Brian Cox will go, "No, you're not."
What is it does Kim Jong-un really believe that the US wants to invade North
Yes, he's
Korea?
been told this for years, yeah.
But, I mean, it's so insane. That's like Piers Morgan having a birthday party and hiring bouncers. It's like, no one's coming, Piers.
That is a tricky text to compose, the text that you have to send to all the people in Japan saying there is a nuclear... Like, if you use emojis, it's going to compromise the seriousness of the message unless you get it just right. So I would suggest explosion emoji, prayer hands, smiling poo.
As a spokesperson in Japan described it as grave and unprecedented. It's like, grave, yeah, but unprecedented in Japan. It's the only place where it is precedented.
There were genuinely signs at the metro stations saying we are experiencing disruptions because of a ballistic missile launch. I love it. It was just disruptions. Like here, obviously everything would shut down immediately. There, the threat of nuclear war doesn't push them onto a replacement bus service.
In other news, what are 4 American companies building for Donald Trump?
A wall.
A wall,
Bits of
yes.
a wall. Prototypes
Sections
of a
of a wall, yes.
I think they're just trying out loads of different types, so like one made of sticks, one made of straw.
Yeah.
He should have... I mean, he's asking all American contractors to build it. He should have just gone straight to China. It'd be a lot cheaper, and they are really good at walls.
They're going to test them all, aren't they? The spokesperson said they're going to test them all with small hand tools.
Yeah.
Which presumably are tools made specifically for Donald Trump.
To be honest, Small Hand Tool is the Secret Service code name.
How long is the war?
How long is the war? 2,000 kilometres or 2,000 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet it's still finished before Heathrow's third runway.
It won't get made because they keep saying the Mexicans are going to pay for it. There's no way this is going to get made. The people who are supposed to be building it may as well just say, we're going to build the best wall. There's going to be lasers, and there's going to be lions, and it's going to be covered in tits. It's going to be amazing. We're going to paint a tunnel on the side to catch that pesky roadrunner.
If I were one of those companies, I'd be putting forward the Emperor's New Wall. Yeah. And just saying to Trump, yeah, only bigly clever people can see it.
And then just hire mimes to stand behind the road. That would be great.
I don't trust people who announce things that they're not doing. Like, I got on a train once and I went to sit next to this guy and he just looked at me and went, I'm not pissing my pants. And I thought, I'm not sitting next to you.
Again, apologies, Angela.
You see, I think that kid's jaundice is going to get her before a car does.
Rejected exam questions.
Welcome to your French exam. It's exactly the same as your English exam, but with tongues. What is the sexiest of all the dance moves? Please show your twerking.
Commercials that never made it to air.
Immigration. Loves the jobs you hate. Introducing the new BMW hemorrhoid series, because eventually every arsehole gets one. Mr. Kipling makes exceedingly good cakes. And he's not a bad shag.
This is a large... Is that because, you know, it's a surprise to have done so well at the election?
Exactly, and when he was at the conference a couple of years ago, everyone was like, not sure. Now he's rocked up 2 years later, he's like Sandy at the end of Grease. Everyone's like, whoa! What you going to do about it, Sturge?
Well, they somehow need to work up a policy that appeals to Leavers and Remainers, and that's impossible. What they need is sort of political equivalent of that dress. You know, like, is it white and gold or is it free market access?
I definitely know which side of the equation wants it to be white.
The way it's going with this constant extensions, it feels like the only way we're going to leave Europe is because of actual continental drift.
I wish they'd admit they don't know what they're doing. That would be so admirable to just go, but it's really hard. Forget it, I wish I hadn't said it. Sometimes I say to the kids, right, that is it. No telly, no video games, no iPads. But that is unenforceable. You cannot keep that. Do we like Google porn, have Haribo? I don't care.
Everything in the screen. Everything in the screen. Very good.
Google porn, have Haribo. You've just described Friday night.
Kids and grown-ups love it, so. This is Tang Faster.
Is it that time when I tried to cook enough rice to feed 2 people? When it was cooked, how many people would it actually have fed? You know, the chief exec from Hoover, he said that he's finding out that there's a high cost to a bad reputation. And I thought, I remember learning that the hard way. You know, you give one blowy in a park, sixth form, ruined.
OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a TV police show.
So, according to this, the suspect was 5'5", red hair, glasses... How pissed was I last night? You're going down for a very long time. Because I did it for you on your birthday. For the benefit of the tape, the suspect is a really lovely bit of rough.
Things you never hear on daytime TV.
Something a bit different in today's episode of Countdown. Susie Dent is actually going to be playing the game. Let's see how she copes without her fucking dictionary. And this week on Location, 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 will Kirsty and Phil finally find that garage to bang in? North Korea said that they would destroy a missile site, but they didn't specify that it would be a North Korean missile site.
We shall denuclearise by using up all our nuclear bombs. On South Korea.
A plan which is literally soul-destroying.
Yes.
You also don't need to know.
Thank you! I'll take that, I'll take it. Can we go back to that picture of Justin Trudeau, because he's really hot?
OK, there's just
He's like the sort of Michael Bublé of politics, isn't he? Isn't that you and your mum both definitely would?
Thing is,
you, maybe, Debbie, you'd want some gap or some...
not at the same time, Dara. What's wrong with you?
Mom! What are you doing, Justin Trudeau, now? You ruin everything!
How long did it take Prince Philip to realise that Meghan Markle hadn't just been on a lovely holiday? Is it how long do you have to work at Sports Direct before you get a loo break?
or made branch manager. Very bad news during the week for two major chains. Which were they?
Maplins.
Yeah.
Maplins is gone, which is where are passive-aggressive, patronising men going to go now? They can't all work at Quick Fit. Where am I going to go when I need to buy a rotating disco light?
Or a drone.
Or a drone.
Where will my drone needs going to be met?
How did their business model not work? I don't know.
It's Pound World.
Yes.
Are in trouble.
Yes.
They're £17 million in debt, which means they now need to sell.
Jamie's Italian's gone. That was never going to work, was it? One Google shows he isn't.
Unlikely things to hear at the World Cup.
And Portugal have beaten Spain, and Saudi Arabia have beaten a woman for wearing shorts. So it's Panama's first time at the tournament, but they have been doing FIFA's accounts.
Things you wouldn't hear in a charity appeal.
British Red Cross. Just 3 adjectives to describe the average UKIP voter. For just 50p, Dara O'Briain will toss you off in comic hand relief.
50p?
50p, there's no way I'm paying that.
God, give me a quid at least. I'm classy. Kiss him and everything.
Robin needs clean, cold water and something nutritious to eat because last night he got shit-faced. The Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, the only charity looking after the needs of Cockney women. Wait a minute. Are there 13 of them? Is she saying one of you will betray me? It's interesting that they both resigned after the summit. I think it's interesting. And some of the papers are saying that's because they were threatened, weren't they? That if they resigned at the summit, they'd have their ministerial cars would be taken away. Yeah. And they'd be stuck in the countryside. And I just thought, do you know what? I'd love to have seen Boris have to make his way home from Chequers. Because I've done some walk of shame in my time, but never after screwing the entire dish.
Moving on, what problems has the summer heatwave been causing?
Put me in a right mood, Dara.
Yeah.
I don't do well in the sun. I burn really easily. Right? I have to wear factor 50 every time I go out. And I was talking to my mum about it, and she said, well, you redheads, you do burn easily, don't you? Right, may surprise you, ladies and gentlemen, not my natural hair colour. It's no one's natural hair colour, is it? I'm not related to Fraggles. It's not... You're right, Mum. Yeah, when I got my hair dyed, it was a mistake to get the matching skin graft. How long did it take me to work out my sunbathing next-door neighbour was dead?
Is it because he was neither tanning nor burning?
Is it when I'm eating a Magnum and some of it falls on the pavement, how long is the grieving process? If the Prime Minister by Thursday is Boris Johnson and he has to meet Trump, they'll have to do it in a soft play centre.
What has the Devon Primary School banned this week?
Inbreeding.
They've banned a dance, haven't they?
They've banned
the flossing dance.
Flossing, they banned, yes.
Which is from Fortnite, isn't it?
It's not from Fortnite.
No, I don't know anything about it.
Sorry, I got very angry about that, didn't I? I really got angry. It's not from Fortnite, right?
Yeah, Grandad, get with the programme.
It's just a dance that we kids do.
Dara,
right?
can you floss?
I can floss, but I'm not going to do the flossing.
Of course you are.
You can do that as long as you want. Really, it has no power over me. I don't have to floss for anyone.
If you're approaching this all wrong, the way to do it is very simple. I know this man, it's simple as this. I don't believe you.
That's very clever, but now you've told me you're meant. My arse am I going to floss on national television?
Dara, Susie and I will do it with you.
Don't get me involved in this, mate. hey, why did I get past?
Hang on, whoa. You start we're going that way first, and then across over. We are likely to make this very, very bad, right? This is what banned in school. If you're watching in Devon, turn it off now. So it's grand. I've just won my game of Fortnite, and then... No, it's too much space. No, too much space. It's
Dara, that's not it.
It's that. I feel that is...
There we go, I've got it.
I was literally doing that. The actually worst thing about this is that this clip will feature on the internet with "It's coming home."
Watching that is the youngest I've ever felt in my life.
Say, if anyone thinks that had no satirical value, right, on a topical show, let me just say this. What happened there was the will of the people was respected, no matter how stupid the idea.
Unlikely things to write to TV channels.
Dear ITV3, why don't you just bite the bullet and call yourself ITV Poirot? Dear Channel 5, I recently very much enjoyed your programme called My Penis is So Big It Is Killing Me. Please could you pass on his phone number before I'm too late?
Unlikely things to hear on a travel documentary.
It's amazing what you can pick up in this market in Vietnam. For instance, I've got herpes. This is a very volatile geezer. So do remember that before you interview Danny Dyer about Brexit. The Amazon Basin. Delivered last Friday, already leaking. 2 stars.
How is one car manufacturer trying to boost public trust in driverless cars?
Oh, googly eyes.
Googly eyes!
Googly eyes.
Literally googly eyes, yes. Why are they using googly eyes?
So people know when to cross the road, but I'm hoping they're going to put eyelashes on so I know whether it's a boy car or a girl car.
I thought it was to make the car look fresh.
Yeah.
Why are they putting it?
So they can make eye contact with pedestrians, so you'll have more trust in them.
It's precisely because if a driverless car appears, you don't know where to look.
They can look you in the eye when they mow you down. I've got a picture of it.
To be honest, they wouldn't clear pictures of it.
Because it looks too creepy.
This is what we think it might look like on the roads in the future. According to scientists, what takes 1/3 of a second?
To fall in love.
To fall in love. Well, yeah.
Well, to decide you fancy somebody.
Decide you fancy somebody, yeah. Falling in love was overstating it slightly.
So it doesn't take 1/3 of a second to fall in love. It takes 1/3 of a second to go, I would.
And it is basically a test on...
No, I can prove it now, Dara. Look. Would. Not now I've seen that.
I'm glad you stopped there, by the way. There we go. Now we wait an hour. So why is this apparently now...
Well, apparently all these retro gadgets are coming back. People want to... But I think it's just the government telling us that to prepare us for after Brexit, where we go back to dial-up internet and leeches for medicine.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you remember all the good old days where you'd have, like, pineapple on the shelves of your supermarkets and things like that?
Well, my friend said the other day, my son gets bored waiting for an app to load. Oh, fuck off. I'm talking Sunday afternoon in the 80s boredom when it's raining, you've read every book in the house. I grew up in Maidstone, that's a Mills and Boon and an Argos catalogue. And then when you think your day can't get any more boring, your dad would go, get in the car, we're going to go and visit someone. Sunday afternoons in the 80s, honestly, we used to visit people for no reason other than to ruin their day. Do you know what? We never told them we were coming. Honestly, the only people who phoned ahead in the 1980s were the IRA.
Did you feel sorry for her?
Well, I feel sorry for anyone who's forced to make an announcement standing in the middle of a road.
At least she tried to look a bit sorry. I mean, I preferred her resignation to Cameron, who just looked smug. He looked like he was just giving back a hire car. To be at one that he'd driven through a river. Full of shit.
His speeches say here, later's peeps.
Is it, now that they're a bit older, how long does it take So Solid Crew to go?
Is it how many A's are in Dominic Raab?
Is it how many days would a man have to live in a woman's body before abortions were legalised and there was no tax on tampons? Am I right, sisters?
If the BBC balance, I'd just like to say I disagree with everything Angela said.
In other news, who's favoured to replace Theresa May as party leader?
Boris Johnson,
Boris,
you've got to worry. Like, he's been quiet for about 6 months, so we knew he was up to something. The Tories are likely to select him, aren't they? Because it's up against Farage, and you need to fight Titan with Titan of it. You know, it's like the plot of Godzilla, but with bell ends.
Things you wouldn't hear on a history documentary.
Now, while this may look like an ordinary car park in Leicester, this is actually the final resting place of my hymen. Before dawn, the carts would all come out to collect the bodies. That is until the day that Prince Philip finally handed in his driving licence.
Unlikely things to hear in hospital.
Now, the good news is your blood results have come back clear. The bad news is blood shouldn't be clear. Now, you have pneumonia. Would you like to keep that or gamble for the big prize? Is it in Alabama, how many days after an egg is fertilised does it have more rights than its mum?
I thought he's going to have to leave it on the Euston Road and get a Boris bite. Which would be very satisfying.
I love that you had to bring a car that can withstand, like, grenades and bombs, when really all we've got is milkshake.
Milkshake, yeah. He's not been keeping up with this. He's not been keeping abreast of what happened.
Really
It just needs loads of windscreen wipers. That's all it needs. Every surface needs to be a windscreen wiper just to get rid of milkshake.
And you think he's got all
And by
those...
the sounds of it, from the inside as well.
He's got...
I love all the gift exchanges. They're quite... Because the Queen gave him a book. Like, that is a burn, isn't it? The only well-thumbed thing in Trump's library is the nanny.
How did Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn react to Trump's visit?
Corbyn has really picked a side over Trump. If only he could do that with Brexit.
Oh.
Yeah.
If I was her, I would have worn an outfit made out of American flags because he thinks you should respect the American flags. It would have confused him. It's like, you're a woman, but I feel compelled to respect you. It would or completely blow his mind. I'd wear a Stars and Stripes burqa.
And the first subject is relationships.
Hello. I have a boyfriend. Thanks. No, that's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. So I was single for a really long time. I thought I was going to be one of those women who just dies alone at home with a cat eating her face. That's what I thought. I mean, it wouldn't happen because I won't have a cat. If I want shit in my kitchen, I'll do it myself. Do you know what I mean? He's very good-looking, my fella, like proper good-looking, out of my league good-looking. Now, I know you think I'm biased saying that. I'll tell you how I know for a fact he's out of my league good-looking. That's because every time I've introduced him to a friend for the first time, the minute he leaves the room, they'll turn to me and go, how the hell did you do that? Charming, isn't it? What are his friends saying to him? Are you all right? Just we're very different. Like, he's very fit and athletic and sporty, and I'm not sporty. I don't even watch sport. I once got tricked into going to Wimbledon because my friend told me it was a men's singles event. That's not what I was expecting. It used to worry me that he's so much hotter than me, but, you know, we've been together 5 years now. If he is doing it for a bet, he's really committed to winning it, so... We were a little bit older when we met. I was 37 when I met my fella. Now, I think it's good to meet someone a bit older in life, you know, when you know what you want. Like, it's proved controversial when I've said this before, but I don't trust childhood sweethearts. Now, I'm sure if you are one, you'll be fine. I just think they're the same people who go on game shows and don't gamble for the big prize. I've had a lovely day, you'll do. There are 7 billion people on this planet. What are the chances your ideal one sat behind you in maths? Really?
Thank you very much, Andrew.
People have been complaining that there's only 2 female candidates. And as a feminist, I'd like to say good. Because some jobs just aren't feminist, are they? And I think Tory leader might just be one of them. It's like, I'm also pleased there's not many female serial killers. It's not like I'm going, oh, say what you like about Rose West, but she did make it in a man's world.
Unlikely lines from a thriller.
So I got a message from the kidnappers. They said that if I hand over Aunt Esther, they'll give us back the children. Yes, it's an Esther ransom. My ass is on the line here. Would you like me to take it down so you can hang the washing up?
Unlikely things to hear at an award show.
And the Duke of Edinburgh Award for driving this year goes to Ant McPartlin. And the winner of the Origami Award goes to... Oh, new Giacomo catalogue's out. People are surprised that they called the police. I'd be calling the police the day that Boris Johnson moved in. Boris Johnson's moved in next door. What do you mean it's not illegal?
It appears like a very intimate living situation. I mean, neighbours, I've always believed, you know, they're the flat below. Well, for some reason, I've always thought neighbours side by side. But they're the flat below in this thing. So he's now currently living with the girlfriend
I love this. Dara's doing really well, so he has to explain what a flat is to...
No,
These people live in the same building here.
Thank you. I've done my time banging, you know, brooms against ceilings. I've done that. I've been that neighbour. Stop that. I've not recorded it, but I've had strong words with the concierge.
I've lived on my own in a flat in Camberwell, and the walls are really thin. And I used to have one of those Henry Hoovers, because I was lonely, and I to talk to. And I couldn't put it in a cupboard, because every time I went to shut the door, it'd just look at me. So it stayed in the living room, and I used to talk to it all the time. And then one day, I got an invite to my neighbour's housewarming addressed to Angela and Henry. Yeah. It was probably some sort of sugar daddy, because they must have heard me asking if he wanted his bag changing.
Imagine if you turned up at the party with the Hoover as well.
That would be amazing. But never mention it. Never. This is Henry.
Yeah. Oh, come in, Angela. Yes.
We're very open-minded here.
Does Henry need anywhere to be plugged in? Keep away from the buffet. We'll bring it all up.
We'll all be gone in a second. Andrew, we're doing a bit of cocaine later if Henry could back away at that point. What do you think of this photo, which is very much the photo of the week, of the happy couple that appeared in the Mail online?
I think it was taken so long ago, they're playing with a Tamagotchi. How do they know that whatever they're talking about is romantic? Anyway, like, they could be talking about anything. She's, what, 20 years younger than him? I reckon he's explaining to her who Duncan Goodhue is. It's like it's got a cross between Rebecca Adlington and Matt Lucas. You wouldn't...
What did we learn, by the way, about Boris Johnson's car during the year?
It's ridiculous. It's filthy. It's a 1995 Toyota Previa.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And look at that. Oh. Downing Street, when he moves in, Downing Street is going to be so different. There's going to be a bicycle chained to the railings. There's going to be an abandoned car with police-aware sticker in the window. And every couple of weeks, a top window will open and an irate woman will throw all his clothes onto the pavement.
From me to want to stand up for Boris Johnson, but I'm a comedian on tour, and that looks all right.
Yeah.
My Skoda Fabia's got crest growing in the bottom of it. They've really sprung this picture on us. I'm really afraid of fish. Has it gone yet?
No. No, the fishes begin to move, Angela. In other words, why have some French comedians come under fire?
Oh, for
nicking material.
For stealing material, yeah. For stealing material from whom?
From Jerry Seinfeld, from Dave Chappelle, just basically from English-speaking comedians, and then doing it in French. And to be fair, it's not like we were ever going to go there and do it in French. On you go, mate.
The thing is, they would have got away with it if they hadn't tried to do Peter Kay's garlic bread bit. The garlic bread, surely this is just bread. What is he talking about?
Le pain, le pain, le pain, garlic, le pain, garlic, le pain, quoi?
I've done a lot of gigs in France. Well, I stormed the Bastille.
I don't blame them. It's probably gone on forever. It's our own bloody fault for never bothering to learn their language. That's...
Oh, hang on. I've spoken their language, and I've tried to do material that they do, like, you know, where is the swimming pool? Down the road and on the left. I love to visit the historical monuments.
Is that my famous bibliothèque routine?
Everyone knows it's only comedy if it comes from the joke-producing region of France. If it doesn't... Doesn't come from the joke-producing region, then you have to just call it sparkling wit. Is it how long you'd last on Love Island if you tried to start a book group?
Unlikely lines from a horror movie.
Here's Johnson! So your name's Hannibal and you're a cannibal. So what does your friend Hedophile do? They call me Jigsaw because you have to be desperately bored to do me.
Unlikely things to hear in a survival show.
And these worms are actually edible and are a really good source of protein. Yet Brian still refuses to go down on me until I've seen a doctor. And you can tell when the rare Irish bullfrog is ready to mate by its distinctive buzzing sound. There it is.
The question I was looking for was, how long is the Brexit extension that the European Union has granted to the UK? This is the news that the EU agreed to delay Brexit until the 31st of January, which Prime Minister Boris Johnson accepted on Monday for calling a general election for the 12th of December, thus forcing us to cancel our Farewell Europe Mock the Week special, which we were planning to do tonight. And hello, election! So that was that, yeah. So are we looking forward to the sudden change in gear?
Well, you can make it Christmassy. Like, I'm going to turn up to the polling booth on a donkey.
I don't know why that's such a big story, because 3,000 50p coins are worth £1,500. How bad do they think the economy is going to be?
They've said, haven't they, one of these 50p's now, if you manage to get hold of them, one of these 50p's is going to be worth £800, which is ironic, because after Brexit, £800 will be worth 50p. Part of me wants to watch the melting of the 50p's, because there'll be a point, won't there, where the Queen just looks like Princess Anne.
Does it not look like Terminator 2? Yeah. The Queen melts like the Terminator in Terminator 2 and then re-emerge. That'd be amazing. The Queen. No wonder she's doing well for whatever age she is now, because she's a Terminator, it turns out.
That makes sense when you find out her full name is Elizabeth II Judgment Day.
Brexiteers are happy, aren't they? They're happy he's going, because they feel like he's been sort of trying to block a no-deal Brexit and not being partisan. But that's a bit like, you know, it's posh kids trying to fire the nanny because she wouldn't let them drink bleach.
You know, the joy of doing anything about Alexa on a show like this, everyone's Alexa at home goes, yes?
Sorry, excuse me, Alexa, buy tickets for Angela Barnes's tour show. Still alarmingly available, thank you.
I'm sorry, we couldn't find any results for Angela Barnes.
And the topic is class.
Yeah, I am a proudly working class girl. You can tell I'm working class. There's a little test you can do to find out whether or not someone's working class. What you do is you compliment something they're wearing, and a working class person will respond instantly every time with a price and where they got it. That's how you know. That's a nice top, Angela. Tenner, Georgia Asda. That's how you know. Posh people aren't doing that, are they? I had to do the after dinner at the Duke of Edinburgh's Polo Club. It's all right, he didn't drive me there. But it's what can only only be described as a spectacular piece of misbooking. I can only imagine that at the same time Sir Stephen Redgrave was getting booed off stage at the Funny Bucket in Croydon. I have no idea what it was. Black tie as well, but black tie, I don't even know what that means. In my family, black tie means you've got a court appearance in the morning. He said I had to wear a hat or a substantial fascinator. What's that? Do I need to go to Ann Summers? I don't know. So I went out, I bought a new dress. I bought a new dress for the occasion, 70 quid, Debenhams. And I did the gig. It went what can only be described as fine. I just wanted to go home. I didn't belong, right? And as I was leaving, this woman, she stopped me in the doorway, a woman from the Polo Club, the poshest woman I've ever met in real life. One of those people so posh, it looks like it causes them physical pain to speak. One of those... She stopped me in the doorway. She said, Angela... She said, Angela, I knew when I saw you arrive earlier that you must be the entertainment. She said, I knew you couldn't be married to a polo player, not with that hair. I said, that's funny, love. I knew you were married to a polo player because you look like a fucking horse.
Thank you very much, Angela.
I tell you what, I don't like buying into stereotypes, but there are no women in that room, and that table is a disgrace.
That looks like a Mock the Week lineup from 2009.
I can just notice the yellow stickers. Do they get their laptops from the whoops aisle at Asda?
Things you wouldn't hear over a tannoy.
This is cashier number 5. Can I get a price check? Can I get a price check for 1 large tub of Vaseline and 1 cucumber? Oh, it's OK, he's gone. Hello. This is your pilot speaking. Just to prove that I am not too drunk to use the tannoy, Jeff.
Unlikely lines from a blockbuster movie.
Welcome to the Hunger Games. Or as it's also known, London Fashion Week. I think this could be the beginning of a very beautiful friendship. Look, he sent me a dick pic.
2 billion is going on potholes. It does feel that. And then the other 900 million are building 40 hospitals. So
how much is going on potholes?
2 billion.
What are they filling them with? Caviar?
They haven't actually said they're filling them. They said they're spending 2 billion on potholes. I assume they're going to make some more.
Which particular Conservative manifesto pledge has drawn criticism?
They said that they promised 50,000 more nurses, but they didn't say that that includes just holding on to 18 or 19,000 nurses they already have.
Yes.
I think all that's happening is it's a Christmas election and they're re-gifting. Here's the 19,000 nurses you already had. It's like when my mum wraps up the shower gel because someone's popped round and she didn't know they were coming. Oh, you know that was in your bathroom, Mum.
I think I already had these nurses.
It's quite amazing that they've managed to achieve how Labour in this campaign has become the racist party. It's quite an achievement, really. It's like being interviewed by Piers Morgan and it turns out you're the twat. I think you're right. It is fine to not know how you feel about... I voted Remain, right? I don't mind telling you that here on Mock the Week. I didn't tell him that on tour in Lincoln. But I did vote Remain. But even now, I just don't know anymore. Can we stay in the EU? Can we? Can you stay at the garden party after you've taken a shit in the punch? I don't know.
Yes, you can.
There's been a bunch of things he's had to take a step back from, Prince Andrew.
The Canadian Canoe Museum.
Yes.
Means he's now up shit creek without a paddle or a canoe. They said that they're going to introduce face recognition technology. That blows my mind, that. My phone's got face recognition technology, which already makes it better than my nan. I'd have to put my hair up. She thinks I'm the new carer. Come on. Is it Emu and Orville?
Emu and Orville are both for sale in an auction this Christmas.
Which seems very insensitive to me, because at an auction you have to stick your hand up, and I think that's going to bring back...
That is very good. It's like, is that a bit? No!
I love Orville.
You know, but honestly, well, there's a certain amount of warmth for Emu.
How can you prefer Emu? It's a sex pest.
I mean, I prefer Emu because basically it was... This is obviously not the one that's... You're a shit Emu. like a cheap version.
That's like the equivalent of the Disney characters on an ice cream van.
When you think about it, like Emu, basically Rod Hull was a man who couldn't do ventriloquism. When you think about it, and so just distracted everybody by attacking people.
The thing where it said that emu was described as Britain's most annoying bird, but I'd like to say that if you watch my Twitter timeline during this show, I think you'll find it's me.
Unlikely things to hear at the Royal Variety Show.
At this point in the evening, I'd just like to ask the members of the royal family to put their rifles away as I welcome to the stage the cast of The Lion King. Welcome, Ginger, Baby, Sporty, Posh and the other one. Yes, it's the royal family. No, Liz, why don't you shut the fuck up?
OK, next topic is unlikely things to hear at a wedding or funeral.
Yes, I know it's traditional for the bride to have something blue. I just don't think you should have dug up Grandma. At least George died doing what he loved. Heroin. Bride side or groom side? I don't know, I'll fuck them both.